So I wanted to talk about Nintendo Switch 2 over the past couple of months. And, this is just a free discussion, no script or anything. I'm just talking. It's an absolute massive stuff, And basically, I am just sad at how they kind of promoted this whole thing and have managed it because they've just taken some really bad strategies that just make it hard for fans. Um, Basically, it just sucks because you have this new console. Everybody's excited to play it, and it's really cool. But then you they keep they keep making it very, very, very hard to get excited for anything because they don't announce release dates. They don't announce gameplay when a game is coming out. They have Nintendo Today, they have YouTube, they have all these news channels that they usually have given many, many updates through, but they just have decided not to, and it just sucks. So we're just going to take a look back at how this whole generation has gone so far, because it's some parts of it are incredible, and I love the console. First of all, the console's incredible. I love the console, and I think it's amazing. But there are problems with just the way Nintendo's handling things. So the first thing is the Switch 2 Direct. My opinion, you can see my reaction of it up on the channel, but I thought it was an incredible direct. But my issue was they showed so much third party and not enough first party. And you could have put in some gameplay there, you could have put in another title that's coming out in way in advance. But it was a very exciting and very fun way to start off the Switch generation, but it just wasn't as big as I expected it to be. But after all, the games that are coming out are big, and it is equivalent to the Switch One in 2017. There are a lot of big games, and they're very quality. Um, so then let's talk about the price of this console. And here's the thing: I spent over $1,000 on this console already. I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and here's the thing: I think the console is a very fair price. I think it is definitely worth it for what you're getting. You're getting very good graphics and portability and shareability with the Joy Cons and their Nintendo capabilities and stuff. That is a little more powerful than the Steam Deck for just $50 more than the base Steam Deck, and I personally think that is a fair price point. Especially since there's a lot more experiences that will be tailor fit to the Switch 2. But overall, you are losing um, very good PR, like when it comes to the actual games in the system, with the prices for games. Games themselves, 70 was fine. We all knew they were going to move to 70. Like 70 is fine for a Donkey Kong and stuff because that's industry standard at this point. But when you start to go to 80, that is crazy for a game. And there's a lot of issues with the economy. There's issues with just game purchasing in general nowadays, and making your games 80, especially Mario Kart World, is just a stupid move. It just generates tons of bad PR. And if you were excited for these games, you would just get destroyed online. People would be mad at you for being excited on this console or about the games, because then the other bad part is that user agreement. Which, here's the thing: I don't really think it means anything. I don't really care about it. Nobody's been affected by it really, because all the other console manufacturers have had that same user clause and stuff in their agreements. But the thing is, since there was already negative press about this console in the first place, this is another piece of that puzzle. So it's going to get even more negative reception. So that sucks too. And then the other thing, which is, in my opinion, the worst of all of this, is the game key cards. Now, I do understand why they exist, and it makes like smaller developers able to put their games out physically, which is good. But ultimately, I mean, the situation will improve over time because more cartridge sizes will be made available. But it just kind of sucks. I'm just kind of mad how it's being handled, and they know that people don't like it, so they're sending out surveys for it, right? So overall, I do think it'll improve. So yeah, whatever. And then you come with the games. I loved Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I love Dragon Drive. Those are two games that people just saw said, "Oh, you have to pay money for those," or "Oh, they're not packed in," or "Oh, it has this weird gimmick. Oh, I don't want to play it, and it looks like shit." But guess what? If you actually play them, they're really good, solid games, and just nobody, no reviewers or anybody actually can see the potential in the games, and they're really good. And it seems silly for to say that about a game that's teaching you about how your console that you already bought works, but it's actually pretty neat, right? And Drag and Drive is a new idea. Only 12 people made the game for $20. I think it has a lot of value, replay value, and it has single player things as well. So I think Drag and Drive is also really fun. But again, these are not like larger scope games, so people are just going to trash on them like they've trashed on the entire generation. And it sucks as a fan because you're excited for this stuff, but you are brought down by all the negative reception, right? And then Mario Kart World. I love Mario Kart World. I think the open world element is really good. And all these people are saying, "Oh, there's nothing to do in the open world." Yes, there is. There's a lot of stuff to do in the open world. You just haven't done it. Okay, it's mostly these people who've never played the game, right? I do wish there were some more tracks. They do need to fix online. They do need to add some more costumes for Donkey Kong and Pauline, which we know are going to come and all that. Just more options in general. And then I think this is the greatest Mario Kart game ever. Like the wall riding, the wall riding, rail grinding is incredible. Such a high skill ceiling for many of the tricks, and the trick system in the game is insane. It's really good. Just with some more bonus content and some fixes to have more options, I think this would become a vastly better game within the Mario Kart community. So far, in the community for Mario Kart, people are mixed up with this game, right? But the general public really does like it because I do think this game is phenomenal. I don't think it needed a story mode in the open world. Mario Kart isn't a game that needs a story mode. It doesn't. And then Donkey Kong. Well, what can I say about Donkey Kong? One of the best games I've played this year. Absolute incredible masterpiece on the same level as Mario Odyssey. I was a little disappointed we didn't get 3 Mario at the Switch 2 Direct, but this game was holy shit. It was incredible. Really, 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 really good. And I am just so happy with it. Like it's it is really phenomenal. It's a great, great game. However, as I said, I didn't say it was my game of the year. It is my second favorite game of the year, and that's just because Death Stranding 2 came out, and I just love everything Kojima makes, right? And I just felt like in Donkey Kong, there was just something small that was missing from it. I can't really put my finger on that. I don't know what it is, but something small was missing. But besides that, it was an incredible game. Turn of so many classic DK tropes and just things. It was absolutely incredible. A 10 out of 10 game. And then now we have the Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, which I thought was very cute. It's a very bad way to present it because the two modes are separate, but it's just a cute thing. I mean, nobody plays Mario Party to be super serious about it, right? So yeah, I thought that was cute. And then now we have the Kirby Forgotten Land DLC, which I think this will be arguably the best Switch 2 edition we've gotten so far because it has some good extra content. However, now we have a major, major game drought. And it's just sad. Or not a game drought. Just a drought for news. Because they have been doing weird shit with the Nintendo Directs and weird shit with their messaging. And I don't think anyone likes this. Just show us the damn games, dude. We're getting a Kirby Direct tomorrow, so that's the whole point I made this video. But you look at the partner showcase, which I thought was a good partner showcase. It's got Pac-Man World in it. That was good. And then you look at the Indie World, which had UFO 50 in it. So that was pretty good, too. But as far as first-party games, you think their brand new console, they want to come out swinging and show their first-party games. But they just didn't. It's so dumb. The way they're messaging, their messaging in this generation, or the start of this generation, sucks. It's not good. So yeah, Kirby's gonna get new details. I thought that game was gonna come out in December. It's actually coming out a lot earlier, so that's really good. But what about Metroid? This game has been in development for 8 years. Okay, and Kiwi Talks, the guy who does interviews with retro people, says it hit a development problem. So we're gonna have to see when that actually comes out. And then Hyrule Warriors, we don't even know if that's releasing this year. I personally do think it is releasing this year. We'll have to see. And then what about Tomodachi Life for Rhythm Heaven? And then what about Splatoon Raiders? They never even gave us a release year for that game. So it is just the weirdest possible thing they're doing, and it sucks as fans. You can't be excited for stuff. People are saying the hype is dead. Well, yeah, because they haven't announced anything. Um, Tomorrow we're probably going to get a really good direct. Sakurai never really disappoints in any of his games, and I do think there will be a September direct with the Mario 40th segment. I personally think Metroid will be a November game. Pokemon obviously is October. September will be Kirby, and Power Warriors could either be October, same month as Pokemon, or it could also be December, December, November. We'll see. So there's that. And then I do think as far as next year, we get Rhythm Heaven in probably January or February, and then Tomodachi Life, my most anticipated game for everything, probably right now. That will be coming out in April or May. Like sounds like in the spring, you know. Um, and then Duskbloods, I don't know, but that's probably like a holiday title maybe. I'm excited for Duskbloods. I've never played a FromSoft game, so it'll be my first one. And just last night, I know it's been a while since the partner showcase, but I've just played The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales demo. I've never played an HD 2D game before, because I do not like turn-based RPGs. This game is freaking incredible, and I am so excited to play next year. But what do I think in terms of first parties coming next year? Well, I think we are going to get Animal Crossing, okay? And I do think we will get 3D Mario. Those will be our two massive games for next year, in my opinion. And I think 3D Mario will be announced in September. Same thing with Animal Crossing, because 3D Mario will be announced for his 40th anniversary. I think we'll also get a Super Mario 3D All Stars Nintendo Switch 2 edition, updated visuals for everything, obviously, plus Super Mario Galaxy 2. And I think that will be just the 40th stuff for Mario this year. I know 35th has a lot, but they just launched the new console. I don't think they're going to go too all out for Mario's 40th. But that September Direct, I think, will be a very good one. We're going to have to just wait and see what happens, right? But I am just sad that it's gone this route. I wish this generation that was smoother, was more accepted by people, right? Because everybody was wishing, oh, I want a Switch Pro with upgraded power. And that's what we got. It's not a Pro, I would say, because it has a lot of new features. It's a phenomenal system. It's going to hold up really well. It has a decent amount of power, in my opinion. And it just feels way more premium. It's a great system. I just think the first party support, kinda is. I mean, in terms of games, they've been supporting it a lot, right? It's just in terms of the details they're giving us that sucks. And then they have the games in the pipeline, but they won't talk about them. And it's just dumb. It's like stupid decisions, and then they're doing some weird shit with Mario Kart. And yeah, it just very disappointing. Yeah, and then the other thing I want to touch on is this was during the partner showcase, and Indie World, you have these third-party games that don't look the best. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I have Street Fighter 6 and Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch 2. Cyberpunk, they reworked that game from the ground up to make it run better. That is the optimization I love to see. But then you look at Street Fighter 6, and then it runs it runs at like 30 FPS, and then in the World Tour mode, but that mode looks like it was a PS3 game. Okay, if I'm going to be honest, it looks like it's a PS3 game. So, all of these developers and publishers, you can look at IOI with Hitman, you can look at EA with Split Fiction, or also Madden and Madden. They are not optimizing their games enough, because this hardware is powerful. If Cyberpunk can run at 40 FPS, I think Madden can run at 60. Okay, but it was clearly rushed. It has stutters and everything. Then you look at freaking the new Elden Ring and Final Fantasy. I think those are fine to be running at 30, right? But you look at like stuff like Chronos. You look at stuff like um, Chronos. You look at some of the other third party games. Or sorry, Dragon Ball Z. That one was horrible on Switch 2. It looks terrible. And also Persona 3 Reload. Persona 3 Reload in particular should be running at 60 FPS. It ran at 60 FPS on the PS4. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know the footage they showed was intentionally 30 or was by accident 30. And then Chronos, I mean, that game, it looks actually pretty good. You're getting that for 52, but it should be running better. Probably either 40 or 60. And then you look at Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. What the fuck were they thinking? It runs at like 720p on Switch 1, and then 810p on Switch 2. What? What a stupid choice. Or what stupid optimization. Like, they haven't optimized it at all, probably. Because if you literally look at it, it looks visually blurry, looks like shit. And it's clear they haven't used any upscaling or anything to actually boost its resolution. If Cyberpunk 2077, okay, can run at 1080p, 40 FPS, I think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which looks like garbage in my opinion visually, with like very like bad environment or very low detail environments and characters, could be able to run at least 1080p 60. Okay, I just think it's a complete rush for these third parties to put ports out for this console, but they have been doing so like in a terrible manner. Nobody's optimizing their games besides like probably Final Fantasy, Elden Ring, and Cyberpunk, and the rest of them are just rushed. They perform like I would say they perform like garbage. Some of them just like Sheepburger performs fine in like battles and stuff, but when you're playing other design modes, it doesn't like run the best. Like there's just issues with these third parties, and the deal with that is we don't get enough dev kits out, and that's why there's not a ton of third party games slated for this year. And the last thing I want to touch on is yes, this console just came out literally 2 months ago. There's a lot more that's going to be happening the rest of the year and beyond, and it's not something to be worried about. It's just these issues have bogged down the overall launch period of this console for me and a lot of other fans, right? Like, I'm very excited for Metroid. I'm very excited for Hyrule Warriors. I want to know details. I'm so excited. I hate Pokemon Legends EA. I hate Pokemon games, and it actually looks good, okay? It at least runs well. It's optimized. How did Game Freak optimize the game before third parties optimized the game for Switch 2? That's kind of crazy, right? And I love the games Nintendo's put out so far. They're very cool. Just some of them are smaller, and then some of them are sometimes like straight 10 out of 10. Mario Kart got to do some work fixes for that. But besides that, I'm pretty happy with this console. I think the console is great. It's just issues like key cards. There's some issues like some things in Mario Kart. There's some issues with third parties optimizing stuff. And the main issue being they're not giving us enough information. And they're raising the price of the Switch 1. Like, I understand it's a tariff thing. But it's just kind of pointless at this point. Just take a loss for these systems. I mean, if you want it to be PS3, I mean, I want it to be not PS3, PS2. I definitely want it to be PS2. It should be either a price drop, not even a price raise. So yeah, we're just seeing some greedy stuff for Nintendo. Like certain things I do think is fair, like the console price, like $70 game. Like, and also I think the price to be upgrades are pretty fair. It's mostly just other things. The games being 80. I mean, even if Mario Kart's the only $80 game, that's the one most people are gonna get, right? So, I mean, obviously, it's a smart business move by them, but it's just greedy and it sucks, you know. So those are my just very, very long and I've ran around in circles with my discussion probably 100 times, but that's my thoughts on this console. So far. I love the Switch 2. I love Nintendo. I love these games they've been making because they are just the most. They have the most personality they've ever had. I just love them to succeed, right? Because they're, in my opinion, they're the greatest developer in gaming. Okay, I genuinely think that. And I know some people think I'm crazy or think people are crazy who think that, but if you've grown up alongside them, and that's not just nostalgia, if you grow up alongside them, right? You see how they evolve, you see what they do, and lately they are on a like hit after hit after hit with new ideas, new things. Ever since Pikmin 4, Mario Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom, it's all in 2023. Everything has been a slam dunk from them. Okay, besides like Mario Luigi Brothers ship or whatever, right? 2023 was incredibly, but we have a great future ahead of the Switch 2. I love the console. It's just the small issues. So that wraps it up. And thank you so much for watching, if you even watched it, because I kind of just post these just because I like to talk about Nintendo. I don't care about YouTube or anything, but yeah, thank you so much. And I'll be posting my reaction for tomorrow's 3D Air Rider direct. So I'm super excited for tomorrow. It's gonna be great. I'm excited to see this game. The graphics will probably be incredible. Just like that. Just like the teaser showed us in the direct. So anyway, thanks so much. Adios.